All right, Final Frontier Warriors. My name is David, and tonight we are going to be discussing interpreting practice exams. I know that all of you right now, you're on your Facebook, you're scrolling through, you just had a nice long day of studying. Maybe you had some work. Well, now it's time to come onto Facebook because let's face it, I know you're on Facebook checking the news feed right now, anyways. So come on, come on, come one and come all. Let's do this. So tonight, I'm going to be discussing how to interpret your practice exams. I know some of you may be putting off those practice exams because you have some nerves, anxiety, stress. Maybe you aren't finding the time in the day to actually sit down and do them. Well, guess what? I totally get it. I've been there before. All of us have. It is tough to just find the courage to sit down and take that exam. Well, stop making excuses. Now is the time for you to sit down and take that practice exam. It's only practice at the end of the day. Practice. It's even in the phrase practice exam. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. All right, practice doesn't always make perfect, but it's going to damn well get you better. So let's get better together. That being said, one of the biggest things that all of you do when you take a practice exam is you look at the score real quick, right out of the gate. Once you get done, you're looking at that score and you're wondering, oh, did I fail? Did I pass? Am I close? Am I far away? What do I do? All right, take a deep breath. Relax. If you got some water or some tea, cheers. Refreshing. All right, so when you look at that score, you got to know for the NPTE PTA, so for those sitting for the PTA aspect of the NPTE, the passing score has been roughly a 95 to 97 out of 150 questions correct. That's also including that's with taking into account the 50 that get drubbed. So that's where you're getting the 150 from. So you're looking around a 95 to 97 out of 150 when you're sitting for that PTA aspect. For the NPTE PT, so now if you're sitting for the PT portion, that aspect of the exam, then you're looking for roughly a 135 to 137 questions correct out of 200. Once again, you have the 50 questions dropped. So 135 to 137. When I was sitting for practice exams, that's where my guide usually was. It is so difficult because every single practice exam will tell you that this is a pass, this is a fail, this is where you should be scoring, this is how everybody else scored. Well, guess what? I am not everybody else. So guess what? I'm going to go on my own accords. I'm going to go on what I know. And what I know is that this NPTE has that standard set where it's been around a 95 to 97 out of 150 questions correct for the PTA, and about a 135 to 137 out of 200 questions correct for the PT. So guess what? That's what I went by. So as long as you're getting close to that range, maybe you're not passing all of them, and that's okay too. It is just practice. It's just practice. So if you're getting around there, if you're getting close to there, maybe for the PT, maybe you're getting over 85 questions correct. Maybe for the PT, you're getting over 125. All right, you're in the ballpark. That's great. Now you're going to continue to build upon it. So that being said, something that you want to look at now is your timing. How did you do on time? Time is so crucial. So with the time portion of it, that's going to tell you, did you finish the exam so quickly? Did you take your time a little bit too much? Did you get a little bit too comfortable? So if you completed the exam in, let's say, 2 hours, guess what? You maybe rushed through it. If you completed, maybe you got down to the crunch. So for PT, maybe you got up to the you're getting close to that 5-hour mark. Maybe it's 4 hours and 55 minutes or 5 minutes. But that later portion, those late sections, like that section 5, maybe you dropped. Maybe it's because of the rushing aspect. So when you're looking at that time can tell you a lot of valuable information too. It's going to tell you to either pick up your pace or slow down your pace. If you do have to slow down your pace, you don't want to slow down so much where you're like a turtle. You're not going to slow down so much where you're just taking your time. You're reading every single question. You're taking 5 minutes per question. You don't want that. You want to read each question with the attentive detail that it needs, that determination. You need that attention on that question. But don't spend an hour a day on that one question. Sometimes you just got to touch and go. Just like in basketball, you got touch and go passes, right? Or touch and go plays. Even in give and goes, you got in hockey and soccer, every single thing that you could think of, you got give and go plays. Just think of it as a give and go, right? You get your question, you field the question, next, let it go. On to the next play because next person gets the ball now. Take it in. So that being said, I think that it's so important to look at that time. All right, so you're looking at the time. Now let's look at that section, the section breakdowns now. Usually when a student's speaking to me, what I love looking at sections because obviously I love speaking to students about motivation, anxiety, stress, how to overcome that too. I get a lot of that from the sections breakdown. Section 1 and section 2, more so usually section 1. If a student is having a low grade in there, that can be related to exam anxiety, stress, adrenaline. Maybe you just went right into the exam, just full blown ready to go. You didn't take your time. You didn't calm down. It's going to be like running into a brick wall. So if that's you, if you're not doing so well on the first section or two, please take your time during that tutorial. They give you a tutorial before that exam. During that tutorial, please just do some pursed lip breathing and calm yourself and relax. Don't just feel like you have to sprint right into the exam. Take your time. It's okay. So now we talk about section 1 and section 2. Section 3 wise, if you did a little bit low in section 3, I like to look a little bit into what did you do during that break? After section 2, you have a break. So what did you do during that break? Did you wash your face? Did you eat? Did you stretch? Did you actually take it or did you not? What did you do during that? That we have to examine. That we have to find out what you didn't do, what you did do. Where can we adjust with that? Something else now, towards the end of it, section 4, section 5. Usually during those sections, if those are your lowest ones, that's going to be geared towards a little bit of that endurance. That endurance aspect you want to build on now. You can listen to something I used to do is I used to listen to back-to-back lecture recordings. And I would sit down in the right at the computer, I would press play, and I would just sit there and I would listen to it and listen and be attentive. And then I would go to the next one once I finished that. And that was so important because that trained me to sit in front of a computer, be attentive, and not just stand up and be distracted all over the place. That was testing my endurance. Practice exams, practice exams. That's going to help build up your endurance too. The more you take, I was taking one once a week. And sometimes that's not for everybody. And that, I want you all to remember that too. A lot of these suggestions, they're not going to be for everybody. There's no cookie cutter for everyone. Everybody is different. But we're going to get through this. So another thing with the endurance, sometimes that section 5, maybe it's because you rushed it. Maybe you went too quickly. Maybe you saw the finish line. You got excited, you got antsy, and then you just wanted to get out of that exam. I know so many of us want to just get out of that exam. I know. Please take your time. You are going to get out of that exam. There is an end point to that exam. There is a finish line. Don't rush towards it. For anybody that's done a marathon out there or a 5K or anything that's a race, during that end where there's that finish line, right? Let's say you're coming around the bend, but you still got ways to go. You see the finish line, but you got ways to go. You're not going to full-fledged sprint. Maybe you got 5 more minutes ahead of you, but you're not going to sprint for 5 minutes. You're going to pace yourself until you get close enough, and then you're going to pick up the pace. So pace yourself. You don't need to start to sprint towards that end of the race. It's okay. Take your time. So something else I want to talk to you about is the categories. So category breakdown, obviously you got the green is you're in the range for passing. Red, you're not. So of course, this is going to be obvious. Focus on the categories that you are red in, that you are low in, that you are deficient in. Focus on those categories. Spend time on those categories. Prioritize those categories, but don't neglect every single thing. But I want you to prioritize those. That being said, that the 3 big sections that you should prioritize, the MSK, the neuro, the cardio, those 3, if you have red, if you were deficient in any of those 3 or all 3, that is where your focus really should be, because most of your questions are going to be on that. So that being said, you are all doing incredible. So I want you to leave you with a quote right now from Walt Disney. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Warriors, keep on pursuing your dreams. Keep on pursuing your goal. Remain all in and go get this. You were never alone in Final Frontier. You have the support of everybody around you. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Your dreams are worth it. But more so, you are worth it. You are worthy of passing this exam. So don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. Don't make an excuse. You're going to find it. If you do try to look for an excuse, you're going to find it. So don't allow yourself that way out. Remain all in. Remain determined. Remain hungry. You have the heart. You can do it. We all know you can. And let's go get your dream. If you need anything at all, please reach out to anyone on the Final Frontier team. We are here to support you. You are powerful. You are strong. You are a Final Frontier warrior. You will pass. Have a great day and a powerful tomorrow. Thank you once again.